your toddler is suddenly having constant meltdowns, or maybe they're bouncing off the walls in the evenings, and you're writing it off as bad behavior. Well, let me tell you why this might be overtiredness in disguise. I will also add that a lot of kids end up getting misdiagnosed with ADHD at a very young age when really they're just not getting enough sleep. Now, that doesn't mean that every ADHD diagnosis is wrong, but I'm just prefacing this with the fact that a lot of ADHD diagnoses are not correct and that the child is actually overtired and needs more sleep. Let's talk about what overtiredness actually looks like. If your child is hyper, bouncing off the walls, and it seems like they've caught a second wind, that second wind is actually cortisol building up in their body and producing adrenaline, in which their body is completely running on adrenaline at that point, and they're beyond the point of being tired. They are overtired. You may also be seeing the stubbornness, the tantrums, the overly clingy behavior, and just overall not very easygoing, and it could potentially be because they're not getting enough sleep. So then why does this happen? Now, your child's schedule might be off and they may need an adjustment. So they may be taking short naps, they may be going to bed too late, they may be waking too early in the morning, when in reality, if you leave them in the crib or their toddler bed a little bit longer in the morning, they may go back to sleep, connect another sleep cycle, and get another 30 to 60 minutes of sleep in the morning. Now, if they're fighting nap or just falling asleep quickly and waking up early, you might need to just adjust their schedule a little bit here or there. And then you always want to make sure that bedtime is usually between 7 and 8 p.m. Now, obviously for the children who take shorter naps or no naps at all, you're going to err on the side of 7 p.m. And for kids who are taking naps or naps about 2 hours or 3 hours, then you might be pushing bedtime to 8 p.m. But I would not go any later, especially if you think that they are overtired. Earlier is always better. Yes, that means they may wake earlier in the morning, but you can always adjust once they've caught up from their overtiredness. Another thing that can cause these big emotions, big feelings, and the overtired reaction is big transitions. When there are big transitions in your child's life, it takes up a lot of energy. So if you're moving, or if they're starting a new school, or if they're potty training, or if you're having another baby, all of these things are taking up the mental and emotional capacity in your child's brain, as well as physical output, like if they're potty training or helping move or starting a new school. It's taking a lot more out of them, so they actually might need more sleep. I like to relate this to my kids are school age. So the first couple weeks of school, I always know that they have to go to bed a little bit earlier because it's a new routine, new everything essentially, and they need just a little bit more sleep. And once they've acclimated, then they can go back to their regular schedule. But when big things are happening, they need more sleep. Now, the best thing that you can do to combat the overtiredness is to catch it early. When you see the sleepy cues, rubbing their eyes, yawning, acting crazy because they're running on that adrenaline, being super clingy, all the behaviors that we're talking about that are showing you that your child is overtired, that is your signal that bedtime needs to be moved earlier. The next thing that you want to do is decrease stimulation in the evening. So let's say, for example, your evenings look like this. First you have dinner, then maybe you have them watch a little bit of a show while you clean up the kitchen. Maybe they go take a bath. Maybe they have some playtime. But what you want to do next is the most important thing. Turn off the TV, dim the lights, close up some rooms in the house. If you're a bedtime snack kind of family, then have bedtime snack 30 to 60 minutes before you start the bedtime routine, and then close the kitchen. Move on from the kitchen portion of the house and go to a different room with dim lights, no TV on, and just doing calm activities. This is a great time for your kid to play with building blocks or do puzzles or play dress up or something very simple, engaging, so they're still exerting their energy, building up the sleep pressure for bedtime, but your house is calm. Now, speaking of bedtime, you want to make sure that you have a calming bedtime routine. We are not having dance parties, we're not having tickle fights, we're not doing all the crazy things when your child is already overtired. An overtired child is an overstimulated child. So when you're experiencing this overtiredness, you need to make sure you have a very calm bedtime routine. So that means whether bath time is part of your bedtime routine or not, it doesn't matter. But if you do have a bath, make sure it is a calming bath. Make sure putting on the pajamas and doing a lotion massage and reading books together is all calm. We're not getting them riled up because their brain is already going bonkers with cortisol, running on adrenaline. We need to calm everything down. Make sure you have 5 to 10 minutes of quiet cuddles, potentially in the dark, making sure your child is not falling asleep on you, because you still want them to have those independent sleep skills where they're falling asleep independently on their own in their own bed. But having that calm, quiet cuddle time together is going to help your child trigger the production of melatonin and get themselves and their body ready for sleep, as opposed to running on more adrenaline and going crazy again with this bad behavior. So I'm calling it bad behavior because that's just the common term for what a lot of parents will say their child is acting like, but in reality, it is overtiredness in disguise. There are no bad children. There are children who need routines, schedules, boundaries, consistency, and parents who understand their cues and what they need. And don't forget that your child feeds off of your energy. So if you're feeling stressed out, your child is going to feel stressed out, and it's going to be a vicious cycle of feeding off of each other's energy. And it's okay to just kind of take a step back, take a deep breath, calm yourself down, and get through the bedtime routine, get your kid in bed so that you can relax and recuperate your own energy so that you can rinse and repeat the next day. The more routine and regimented your child's days are, the better they're going to respond, the less overtired they're going to be. So make sure you follow all of these tips. If you want my 3 foundations to better sleep, there's a link to a free guide in the description box down below, and keep blooming. Mwah.